What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 55 of the Game Room Podcast. I'm your host, Rome, alongside the returning Forrest.
Yo, it's 55 episodes? What the heck?
I know, right?
When you just said 55, I was like, oh god, it's been that long?
Yeah. And Dev, how you doing?
Doing all right. Tired as always.
Tired as
Let's
always.
go.
It's been a month.
It's my secret cap. I'm always tired.
We originally put off doing the show yesterday because we wanted to talk about the Pokemon Presents, and then PlayStation decided to just lay off like 1,000 people almost. So I was like, all right, well, we're not going to not talk about that. So, what's playing right now? Interesting. I hear a sound. I don't know. Maybe it's the TV upstairs.
Yeah, I think it's an airplane.
It's the air.
Yeah.
Crazy. Did you want to comment on this first? You had said something before.
Oh, the fact that you don't... Okay, so already going to the chat.
Yeah. So
Tay says, the fact that you didn't think Shogun looks good has me shocked. Dev, you were supposed to be the cool one. Thumbs down. Okay. I think Shogun looks bad too.
Well, no. So the thing is that it's not that Dev thought it looked bad, but we were watching the trailer. And he's like, "Oh," and then it showed it was on FX, and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, I was like, I don't have that streaming service. I'm not going to watch it.
It's just a channel. It's a cable channel.
You know what you should watch?
But they're not going to put it on any like.
FX is a cable channel.
I know it is, but they also have. There's no streaming service for FX.
I would assume Max.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be on Max.
But also, like, just go watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, reviewed pretty well, actually.
Yeah. I started
I heard its reviews do not do it justice. It's actually really good. I watched the whole thing in like 2 days.
Interesting.
He hasn't watched the original.
I watched a few episodes.
And you give me shit for Lelouch?
He has not watched.
To be like the anime guy.
I don't either. I claim to be the comic guy.
He doesn't claim to be the anime guy.
I just know the most anime out of us.
Anyways, let's move on.
You're both guilty. You didn't never watch the Avatar. You don't watch anime.
Let's move on. Let's get started.
What I have to deal with.
Let's get started here on the show with PlayStation layoffs. So again, this morning I woke up and I was like excited for Pokemon Presents and all that, and then right beforehand, which I have to think was strategic, PlayStation had to be like, people are gonna be really excited about Pokemon. Let's just do it.
Yep.
So it came out that Sony is laying off 900 PlayStation employees. The following is coming from The Verge. Sony says it's laying off around 900 employees of its PlayStation division, a reduction of its global headcount of around 8%. Sony's layoffs will impact a variety of its PlayStation studios, including Insomniac Games, Spider-Man, Naughty Dog, Last of Us, Guerrilla Games, Horizon, and Fire Sprite. Sony's layoffs are the latest in a wave that has been impacting the gaming and tech industries throughout 2024 and last year as well. Quote, "We have made the extremely hard decision to announce our plan to commence a reduction of our overall headcount globally by about 8% or about 900 people, subject to local law and consultation processes," says PlayStation chief Jim Ryan. "Employees across the globe, including our studios, are impacted." Several PlayStation studios are affected, with Sony closing its London studio in the UK, which developed PlayStation VR games. Sony's Fire Sprite studio, which is also impacted, is the British studio behind PSVR's Horizon called the Mountain game. I believe the only first-party PSVR game to come out. Sony revealed last week that it's working on PSVR support for PC, which we will talk about later. In a separate note, Herman Holst, head of PlayStation Studios, confirmed US-based studios like Insomniac and Naughty Dog are also affected, alongside Sony's Guerrilla Studio, based in the Netherlands. Overall, employees across the Americas, Japan, and EMEA and APAC regions will be impacted. After careful consideration and many leadership discussions over several months, it has become clear changes need to be made to continue to grow the business and to develop the company, says Ryan in an internal email to PlayStation employees. "We had to step back, look at our business holistically, and move forward, focusing on the long-term sustainability of the company and delivering the best possible experiences for our community."
It's the holistic. It's that buzzword that they did on purpose.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that word literally doesn't need to be there.
So something that really is my thoughts. So number one, we talk about it every week. There's layoffs, and there's more layoffs later down in the script. Again, this was inserted to the top of the script because it happened this morning. Obviously, these layoffs are disgusting and continue to be a problem. What's up, Nat? Nat's over here. Says, I just know most of the anime out of us, but I'm not the anime guy.
I'm not.
Well, so you know what's funny? So at work, they actually have this anime branding right now for like this new thing promotion they're doing. And my boss today was like, Rome, do you know anything about anime? I was like, I know a little bit. Not a lot. Like, I watch a few. But I definitely knew more than anyone in the room, so...
Ah, damn.
That says something. One hell of a way of saying I need to fire people so I make more money.
That's literally what it is.
Nah,
that's
that's-
always,
yeah.
like, you know what's atrocious now? And it's funny because I came here... On the way here, I told you guys, I was thinking about I'm going to start dabbling in stocks.
Yeah.
And one of the things I know to look for is when they lay off their employees, all the people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to sell the stock. No one ever sells the stock.
Yeah.
Also, they're going to report record margins this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they do every year.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's bullshit.
So something we always talk about, and again, I've worked for companies, so I know what it's like. The number one thing that they care about, and we're seeing it with Xbox and PlayStation, I've said this before this all happened, is the number one thing that they care about is growth. Year over year. That YOY.
Yep.
Year over year. How much did you grow?
Yeah.
And I mean, we're seeing it, and I have some other PlayStation stuff that we'll get to other than the layoffs, but right now PlayStation isn't growing. But it still is on paper, the reality of it is that, so like let's look at the studios that they laid people off from. Insomniac Games just put out Spider-Man 2. Smash hit for them. Like we're talking months. It came out in October.
Yeah.
4 months ago. Or 5 months, whatever.
My girlfriend is playing it right now.
Exactly.
So I've been watching her play Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it's actually pretty...
It's
like,
great. It's a great
it's
game.
good.
I like it, yeah.
I mean, I see the issues with it, but, you know, whatever. It's a Spider-Man game.
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I like swinging. I literally... like, there'll be a crime, and I'm like, not today! And I just keep swinging by.
Yeet. And then you look at the other, like Naughty Dog. I mean, obviously they had the Last of Us factions, which didn't work out. But I mean, again,
That's why
this is your Last of Us studio.
That's why to me it doesn't seem that crazy because Spider-Man just came out, so the people they're laying off are probably people they hired for that project. They could be recent guys.
I disagree
It's
with
rare
that.
that they
There's
do
so many
that.
layoffs
And,
going on.
and I mean, yeah, around the whole industry, no one.
Yeah, but
gaming
if
itself is not growing right now.
No, and it's just because it's the bottom line. Because, well, and it's ultimately,
Every
it's
week,
people-
every week there's new layoffs though.
Here's
It's
what happens, right? So everything that these guys up at the tippy top decide affects the people down at the bottom, and the people at the very bottom is the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So the dumb decisions they make the consumers unhappy. We don't want to buy it, so we don't buy it, and then people get fired, and they go, "Well, it's your fault for not buying our game."
So the next thing I wanted to kind of touch
When it's
on
their fault
also.
for making the game bad.
So the next thing I wanted to touch on, and I had a headline for it, but I guess we'll talk about it now, and I'll probably skip it in terms of actually reading the headline. But so they're bringing PSVR 2 support to PC.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to have a really nice little conversation there of how you felt about it in general. But, they closed the London studio, which their whole job was to make these VR games. And, they're to me, and correct me if you guys disagree, I think that PlayStation, one of the things they're looking at right now is they are trying to get out of the VR game as quickly as they fucking possibly can. This is how I took this. You closed down your studio making VR games. You laid off the other studio that made a VR game. You're trying to just put your VR headset wherever you can sell it. They probably have a bunch of these laying around that didn't sell, and they're probably just like, they're ready to wipe their hands with it. I guarantee you're about to see a lot less PSVR 2 support, and you haven't seen any really to begin with. I think you're about to see a lot less.
Yeah, they had a lot of actually really good exclusives. Their only first party games are Gran Turismo and Horizon, and another game that I don't really know. Mm-hmm. But them giving the PS2 VR PC support doesn't necessarily mean those games still might be exclusive to PS5. Mm-hmm. And like you can just have the headset working with the PC, which would be huge. I think that's more of an inventory thing and a demand and an inventory thing because it is a really good headset, and if they can buy it for $500 and use it on their PC, that's a W for the PC. I mean the VR community.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like they're sitting on a bunch of headsets.
I will
they need
say
to get
this: VR peaked at super hot. Okay, that's
for you.
That is the peak of.
Wasn't that like the beginning? Not the beginning.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
one of the first games.
It's like
that
modern
that
VR.
Was
Yeah.
the,
He played.
That was
I took the headset to his place and I had him try VR and he played the demo for Super Hot because I don't have the game.
I played that. I would have played
like-
that thing for hours.
for like an hour, just the demo.
I mean, yeah,
I was getting good at it.
So I think VR also, in a games industry where growth is super important, I do wonder if we are going to see a decline of VR just because of how niche it is and how much it's not growing. I mean, we saw Ubisoft say that
it's not accessible.
Assassin's Creed Nexus did not meet their sales goals, so they're not going to continue their investment in VR.
Yeah.
So, like, Dev, as like someone who you like VR a lot, you have the MetaQuest 3, and I think that the tech is really cool. I mean, honestly, do you think that VR might just, even in 2024, just be too niche? And just
no, I think it's always growing. Like it's still growing. It's getting headsets are getting cheaper, and they're getting better at the same time. So yeah, I think companies are just trying to make something that looks better and is smaller and is cheaper, and they're just redoing that over and over and over again. It's kind of like how cell phones used to be really. I mean, they still are crazy expensive, but like for $500, you can get a cell phone that would have amazed you 10 years ago. So it's like they're just getting smaller and better.
I feel like what happened was like the Xbox, PlayStation, they entered that market too soon.
Oh,
they're trying to backtrack.
Well, Xbox was never in the market.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But like no, so like yeah, for consoles it's a lot harder because you have to own the console and you have to pay extra on the headset. That's why it's like the PSVR 2 is technically $1,000 because you need a PS5 and a headset, whereas in the Quest is $500 and it's standalone. So it's like until
apples
these things,
to oranges type thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like another thing that's bigger than VR right now is AR, which is like that game you play with like
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to push it forward. I don't think video game is going to push it forward. I think other things are going to push it forward, and games will just follow kind of behind it.
Nat says that her favorite PS2 game was the old one for the PS, or Spider-Man game was the old one for the PS2, swinging around when your web disappears in the sky. Ty says Assassin's Creed VR was a big game, and Ubisoft said it didn't make enough profit for them. That's on the two biggest VR platforms, so Sony isn't really making much for sure. And Nat also says they're getting out of the VR game because girl was in the metaverse, so the perception is really down. No, possibly.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's not good.
And
that's gross.
but also like
they're not getting out because of that.
That wouldn't
all
be
money.
enough. Yeah,
I think it's lack of sales. I think maybe that perception-wise can play a part in it, but I think it's just not selling. I just think that PlayStation can't sell them, and
Yeah,
it's just not profitable for them. And I think you're going to start seeing PlayStation do a lot of things that are going to make them more profits. I think that that's just something we're going to see. Part 2 of the news about the layoffs was, and kind of what I was saying, PlayStation Studios says it's reevaluating how we operate and confirms canceled games. Commenting on the news, Herman Hulst also confirmed the layoffs have resulted in the cancellation of unnamed game projects, which almost certainly includes London Studios' online co-op game set in Fantasy London, which I would assume is a VR game. I don't know. Our goal at PlayStation Studios has always been to make the best games for PlayStation fans, and our global community of studios represent some of the most creative and talented teams within the gaming industry, Hulst wrote. PlayStation 5 is in its 4th year, and we are at a stage where we need to step back and look at what our business needs. At the same time, our industry has experienced continuing and fundamental change, which affects how we all create and play games. Delivering the immersive, narrative-driven stories that PlayStation Studios is known for at the quality bar that we aspire to requires a reevaluation of how we operate. Delivering and sustaining social online experiences allowing PlayStation gamers to explore our worlds in different ways, as well as launching games on additional devices, such as PC and mobile, require a different approach and different resources. He continued on, to take on these challenges, PlayStation Studios had to grow. Stupid ads. We have brought brilliant and successful studios into our family. We have invested in new technology and partnerships. We have recruited talent from across our industry and beyond. But growth itself is not an ambition. PlayStation Studios is committed to continually discovering ways to work together, collaborating and combining our efforts to ensure that we are able to craft games that push boundaries of play and deliver what you expect from us. We looked at our studios and our portfolio, evaluating projects in various stages of development, and I have decided that some of those projects will not move forward. I want to be clear that the decision to stop work on these projects is not a reflection on the talent or passion of team members. Our philosophy has always been to allow creative experimentation. Sometimes great ideas don't become great games. Sometimes a project is started with the best intentions before shifts within the market or industry result in a change of plan. I am deeply saddened to see talented individuals leave the company. I have so much admiration, appreciation, and respect for your work. PlayStation will continue to be a creator-led organization driven by evolving our beloved franchises and bringing new gameplay experiences of the highest quality to our fans. Forrest, would you say that a creator-led organization would lay off 1,000 of its creators?
Well, you missed the line. It says where he wiped his tears with his bonus.
But would you say a creator-led organization would lay off?
He's literally that meme of like, oh no, and he's wiping himself with cash. Like, no, man, like bullshit. These are just more buzzwords, dude. At the end of the day, it's a business. Businesses aren't your friends. Mm-hmm. And like we're in such like a hellscape that like businesses that you work for aren't even your friends.
No.
Like you are a cog in a machine. You are there to produce a service. The moment you don't make and do exactly what they want you to do, they can just get rid of you.
I would counter argue and say sometimes you do exactly what they want.
And they still get rid of you.
Yeah, like
cool, thanks, bye.
Again, in Insomniac, Spider-Man 2 did very well, and they laid off a bunch of people there, and all the other big studios. I think Sony Santa Monica was the only like major PlayStation studio that at least
GTA.
We have. No, that's God of War.
Yeah. The one that keeps winning all the awards. Yeah. We'll just.
Well, Spider-Man won some awards too. So again, it's just really weird.
But it didn't win Game of the Year.
The reason I agree with you guys, I just don't think it's weird because
for speaking facts today,
it's happening. Ty. It's happening everywhere. Like I keep bringing up that one studio that was like, man, we tried everything not to fire people, and this was our last resource.
Yeah,
it's across all of gaming. Like people are just getting fired. Like
I mean,
well, they also it
is a money thing. They're definitely trying to keep money in their pockets, and they're trying to like bring more in money. But
I also think we're seeing the blowback of all the people they hired during.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what it is, though.
That's the majority of it.
Yeah, but it's like every studio or like every company is firing a bunch of people in like the masses, like 25% of their company.
They hired in mass, so now they need to fire in mass.
So for me, there's two things, and that's one of it. There was the COVID bust where games blew up when everyone was forced to stay home, and they hired a lot. I think the other thing that we're seeing is I think video games are just taking too long to make and costing too much money to make. And I just think that like you're looking at these games. I mean, hear me out. You're looking at these games that take 8 or 9 years to develop, and they take millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to make. I just think that
it's true though. If you want they have to do it too. It's not like they're like. There's crunch. They're talking about like 7 years of crunch. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it takes to make a great game.
So here's the thing. I think that, and this is just an alternative, like just an idea, just throwing this out here. Maybe we should start, because like obviously you look at video games today and the landscape of video games, and every game needs to be like this massive 500-hour game. No, I'm saying like that's how the industry is. Yeah. But like maybe you don't need to do that. Maybe like it's okay if your game is. Instead of 100 hours long, maybe it's just a 20-hour game.
But I also think that they want their monies like.
But hear me out. Like let's say instead of taking 8 years to make a game, you can make a game in like 3 years or 4 years, and then you make another game in another 4 years. Instead of selling one game,
break it up.
You can have 2 games come out in that time just by making like slightly shorter games. Like Spider-Man 2, like that game was about like 30-something hours. Like that game, you could have trimmed 10 hours off that game, and I think that still would have been a phenomenal experience.
Yeah, I'm going to take your idea, but I'm going to push it to the illogical extreme, which is where it's probably going to end up, because that's the world we live in. So what they'll start doing is like, they're already kind of doing what you're saying, but via DLC. They're not finishing their games. I actually think what they need to do is they need to split up some of their teams. They need to start longer cycles. Like, yes, give yourself your like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to make a really good game. Stick to your damn plan. Stop trying to like chase all these fads. Stop trying to keep like running after live service. Because like, look at Suicide Squad. You took one of the greatest people that made one of the greatest trilogies.
Rocksteady, right?
Rocksteady. And they are literally just like a joke now.
So I don't disagree with some of your point, but like I don't think the answer is, well, let's let them take longer to make video games.
I do, but I also
I just don't think that's gonna. I don't think it's realistic.
Also, at the same time, you say do your idea. At this, you gotta do them both. You gotta have your big things boiling in the background, and then you gotta have your little things. Because also a lot of the times it's like the little things are what blow up, and they're not like technically when you think about it. Like, so for example, take Hades. That's had so many re-releases on every console, every platform, physical releases, like just going and going and going, and it's.
But that's because people are buying it.
Exactly, but it's a loop. It's a 10-hour. It's a loop. You continually do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Technically, you can play the game for 10 minutes, and that's as far as you ever get. But or you can play for 300 hours.
But I mean, some people... I haven't played it yet, so like, if it comes out on a newer console, that's where I'm going to buy it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, I got it on Switch. No. Yeah, I have it on Switch, and it's actually really good on Switch.
I also think another thing is you can't just... That doesn't work for every game.
No, it doesn't,
like,
but...
No, what I mean is like, hey, studio, just make a smaller game. Spider-Man was small, make a smaller game. Starfield, you spent... There's how many hours of content in it?
A lot,
it's
yeah, and I get that.
And it's a great game. I think you can't just tell someone to make a smaller game, especially if they have a vision.
It's tricky, but I mean, in terms of the game,
we also know nothing about game development.
No,
it's hard, and it takes a lot of people, and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like I know a damn thing about making a video game.
I know everything. No.
Well, there you go. No, so Ty says the reason why is that consumers would be upset about 15-hour games. Like, I understand that, but...
And some games do work better smaller.
Exactly.
It's just,
I mean, if it's 15 hours of non-stop slappage, I'll play it again.
Game.
Again, like, Gone
Think about
Home...
multiplayer games. Those are built for longevity. Those are built to play for a long time.
So I say this a lot, but, like, Gone Home is, like, one of my favorite experiences in a video game ever. That game's 2 hours long. I fucking love that game. Like, I haven't played it in a while because it's very narrative, very simple, but, like...
I just mean every game doesn't work.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying. Moving on, we did also find out one of the canceled projects today was a new Twisted Metal game. PlayStation announced Layoffs, according to an update from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. A live service game based on Twisted Metal was in development for some time before it was caught up in the cancellations. Twisted Metal hasn't seen a game since 2012's reboot of the franchise. In more recent media, the game had a TV adaptation on Peacock. Season 2 was announced at the Game Awards in December. Twisted Metal was canned.
That's the gameplay I'm playing right now. Twisted Metal 3.
Yeah. So I mean that's just really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, like, was Twisted Metal with that genre?
I think that's a core PlayStation game, and
it is though. It's weird
it's a core franchise for them that they just canceled.
There are fans of it, and there's nothing really out there like it right now.
Yeah, that was the other thing. There was a show, so you would think they would try to push the game
Which
out.
got a season 2 because it did pretty well.
Ubisoft is sitting there with its fledgling Skull and Bones, and they're like amateurs canceling your games. You're supposed to soldier through it and release a mediocre game.
Quadruple A.
More on Skull
$70.
More on Skull and Bones later. But also another thing about the layoffs is that we did get a number of layoffs for Horizon Studio Guerrilla. It had a cut of 10% of its workforce. The Amsterdam, Netherlands-based studio laid off 40 of its over 400 employees. Sources told Dutch newspaper AD. Guerrilla was acquired by Sony in 2005, best known for the Horizon and Killzone series. Its most recent game, Horizon Forbidden West, was released in February 2022. It sold 8.4 million copies by last April, and it's going to come out on PC next month. So, yeah, they laid off about 10% of their workforce after... Again, like, that's a good performance for a game. Like, almost 9 million. Like, that's...
Yeah, I feel like at this point, it's not even about how well something performed for that year or the year before. Everywhere they're slicing numbers off. Like, this is an industry-wide
that's the end of that's the sentence, though, isn't it? You're just a number.
And so, one last little thing before we move on a little bit was, some people took note of this, but if you read, like, PlayStation's official, like, blog post, these employees that were laid off found out when we found out.
Yeah, that part's crazy.
So this is a direct quote from the release. It says, for those of you in the U.S., all impacted employees will be notified today. In the U.K., it's proposed that PlayStation Studios London will close, there will be reductions at Firesprite, and there will be reductions in various functions across SIE in the UK. Now, the reason that it had to be proposed in the UK is the way the regulations work over there. They have to go to the government and say, hey, we're making these job cuts, and then the government has to approve it. And so, like, but they didn't even tell people who. I mean, obviously, if you work at the London studio, you know it's... But, like, yeah, these people found out today. In fact, these people found out after the news broke, because it's like, this news came out, and they're like, if you're in the U.S. and you're laid off, we'll let you know today.
Damn.
It's rough.
It's terrible. It's just...
As Zuko once said, that's rough, buddy.
Ty says 9 million, but how much did it cost to make? How many employees does Gorilla have? They have 400. I did say that. Who also got laid off? 40. 10% of 400 is 40. You know. Community manager, some of them. Yeah. No, I mean, I get it.
I'm glad you told me that because I'm a personal trainer. I only got to count up to 10.
That's
4 times.
Fascinating. Okay, so and then the last thing that this was originally on the script before the layoffs was Sony's value reportedly dropped by $10 billion following the disappointing PlayStation financials.
Yeah, of course.
So let's fire everybody. And
so again, this was before the layoffs, but it says while Sony had previously hoped to ship a record 25 million PlayStation consoles during its current fiscal year ending in March, last week it said during its latest quarterly earnings results that it now expects to miss that target by 4 million units. Following the earnings report, Sony's shares fell as much as 8.4%. Hey, the same amount of employees that they laid off.
Wow, what a coincidence in those numbers.
And closed down 6.5%, partly as a result of the revised PS5 hardware sales forecast, but also partly due to a drop in operating margin in Sony's gaming business to 6%, compared to 9% in the December quarter of 2022 and 12 to 13% in the years before this. Now, a new report on CNBC, in which the news outlet has made a calculation using FactSet data, suggests this drop in share price has resulted in around $10 billion of value being wiped from Sony's stock since the forecast cut. Jefferies equity analyst Atul Goyal told CNBC that the new shipment forecast wasn't as disappointing as the low level of operating margin. Goyal explained that the operating margins at Sony's gaming division were 12 to 13% for 4 years, and its current margin of 6% is extremely disappointing and almost near decade lows. Goyal said that Sony's margins should have been rising during this period instead of falling, given that there are various tailwinds that should have driven up the margins towards 20%, such as an increase in digital game sales as well as Sony's PS Plus service, which has a margin of around 50%. Their revenue on digital sales, add-on content, digital downloads are at all-time highs, Goyal said, and yet their margins are at decade lows. This is just not acceptable. So,
yeah,
there you go. Just
none of it is really surprising.
So, a lot of this to me, and again, I think Herman Hull's saying that they're going to reevaluate the way that their first party does business. Do you think that maybe like a week following, maybe Xbox's decision last week or in the weeks prior doesn't seem as crazy as it did?
It never did.
Well, I think it did, but
I don't think, because it's like they're buying the studio. Obviously, there's going to be changes to it. Mm-hmm. There were people that needed to leave. You said something before where it's like maybe they're firing people of divisions that they already have. You know what I mean? Like you fire the HR because you have your own HR that you're bringing in, like stuff like that. They're a bigger company than Sony, I think, in terms of numbers. So like firing 1,200, I don't even think that was 10% of like their gaming division. I don't think it was that crazy. I think people reacted because it was Microsoft or Xbox, but like this doesn't seem crazy either. Every week people are firing 25% of their company, and it's just like it sucks all across the company. But obviously, numbers are going down everywhere. Like it's not even surprising.
It's every industry, it's every business.
Yeah,
and it sucks. It really sucks for those people because like and that's the thing that sucks is like sometimes they're just well, actually most of the time, especially at that level and at that level of corporate, they're just numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's
also the the entertainment industry that's like the least stable you're gonna get into across the board. Yeah, you get
there
into
is way more or less stable things, but like no,
entertainment in general is like.
I would not if I got let's say I got an HR job with Sony, I would not expect to be fired.
Oh yeah, HR, but like I mean, I'm talking about game developers, like artists and all that stuff. They kind of come and go. Unfortunately,
well, and it's based on their contracts. But this isn't saying that they're contracts. These are employees they had that they locked in that they couldn't do anything else, and then they fired them.
Yeah.
That's if it was a bunch of contractors, that's a different story.
No, I'm not even talking about contracts. I just mean like. After you've done Spider-Man, they move on to another project. They don't need people who are like, I'm web designer, like.
However,
literally, like
I designed the web.
It's just like
yeah, but there's not like one guy doing that. That's like a team.
No, exactly, it's a team. So
the
they
one guy
all
works
get fired.
The one guy works on left-hand webs, and the other guy works on right-hand.
But that's what I mean though. Like it's just like everywhere they're getting rid of people. They're the lowest denominators, the people at the bottom that they can get rid of.
I hope they fired the janitor and the place just gets really stinky.
Maybe.
Well, I think at the end of the day, like there are less sustainable things than the games industry jobs.
I agree,
like my mental health.
Yeah,
I agree, but like again, they are their own unit. They do have their own employees. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
just like their employees' mental health.
So just again, terrible, awful stuff from the games industry.
It just sucks.
Another
Whenever you
1,000
fire
layoffs.
people, man.
I saw a number today. I should have wrote it down, but like the amount of layoffs we've had this year alone, and it's only February, has been astronomical.
That's
so
true.
many layoffs that we will be talking about layoffs again later at in the podcast.
Which we're out of companies.
You'd be surprised. There's plenty more.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
But anyways, for now, let's move on to number 2 on the headlines. The main reason we were supposed to go live today is the Pokemon Presents. It was Pokemon Day
Digimon Day!
Yeah, I wore my Charizard shirt, my Venusaur hat.
I wish I wore a Digimon shirt.
That would have been really great.
I really wish I did.
So there was a Pokemon Presents today. Some really cool stuff got announced, but we're just going to run through some stuff. Number 1, I just wanted to point out, I was so sure we were going to get some Johto stuff because there is so many Johto teases throughout this Presents. So they open up the show with Pikachu running from Unknown, which is a Johto Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then, so they do Terra Raids for Gen 1 evolutions for Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard.
Oh, can you imagine a 3D Gold and Silver?
God, we could have had it. Anyways, after that, they said that there's going to be a Pokemon Go tie-in with the new anime that's coming out. It's going to be on Netflix in March, I believe. Then they showed Pokemon Sleep with the Johto legendaries.
Sleep. Pokemon while you walk, Pokemon while you sleep.
And I was just like,
no, it's Pokemon Watch You Sleep.
Yeah. It's like Raikou's just sleeping there at the foot of your bed. I was like, again, realistically, that's really cool, or hypothetically, really cool. But
if only we had some kind of VR headset.
If only. Well, they have one. It's just cardboard.
They're sitting in and then they're sitting in a warehouse at the PlayStation store.
So after Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Masters EX got a reveal for the Gen 2 rival is in the game. Silver is his name in canon, I believe. Really silly, quick story. And I think I might have told you guys this. So, because I was a dumb kid. Just completely dumb kid. So, in Gen 2, right, when you meet your rival, he tells you his name is ? And so I was like, that's weird. And then so like later on, you go back to like New Barktown and the police officer is there because the rival steals the Pokemon.
You thought it was a
test. And the rival's like, and the cop's like, oh, you ran into this guy? What was his name? And I was like, again, I was a dumb kid. Like
you thought it was a test.
I was like 8, but like I was like, well, he said his name was ? So I answered that. So like, as a young child, anytime I played Gen 2, my rival, like I'd be like battling right before the Elite Four. It's like ? Wants to battle. I'm like, what a weird name. I was such a dumb kid.
That's great.
I
love that story.
But the remakes, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, they clearly a lot of people did this because they changed it. Because in Heart Gold, Soul Silver,
you should have made it ? again though.
For the hell of it.
Yeah.
But no, so in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you bump into him and his ID falls down. Like, why would they change it?
So you can write it
clearly
right
other people, because they even say like you saw his name on his ID. Like clearly other people I cannot have been the only one. They definitely made a change.
That's funny.
But so anyways,
they made it for you.
So ? Is in Pokemon Masters EX. Silver is his name, and he is Giovanni's son. Yeah, that's actually.
Oh, that's like kind of.
Well, it was in a game event that was
lores.
scrapped. There was those mystery gift things. So there was an event where like he is his son. So, for me, it's still canon.
It was essentially like going to be like the original like post game cutscene DLC type thing.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like you would take your DS to
first.
GameStop, or whatever, and they would like upload it.
Yeah.
They were doing that type of stuff for like the Game Boy. I think if I recall correctly, you could get a Mew from certain retailers for the Game Boy Color. You go and get
it was all because of the Mews under the truck hysteria.
Yeah, technically he is the one that says, "Oh no, you saw my name." Yeah. But anyway, so then they showed off a Pokemon Cafe Mix update, and then I have to give them credit.
This actually looks cool.
This is the first time in my life, and like I've dabbled with mobile games. Like I've played some Gears of War games, some Doom games, other Pokemon games. I've played Fire Emblem games. This may be the most excited I've ever been for a mobile game. So they announced Pokemon TCG Pocket, and like this video, which is currently playing in the B-roll, is just so you get packs. You open the packs, the cards are there. You trade, you play the card game on the app. You get 2 free packs a day.
Okay.
I'm just like, this looks incredible. Like this is something that I totally could see myself being part of my daily routine. Like I wake up, like open
it's
my
a gotcha.
So
it's
that's what
yeah,
I'm worried about.
I know. And it's just
I'm like, if it's gotcha, then is it also
it's gotcha
pay
and it's
to win?
Pokemon. It's like crack
So if
on
I
your phone.
if I mill, right, and I drop a mill, if I mill for my mill, you know.
Look, this guy, he just got a pack. He opens it up.
Hey, I saw a legendary Moltres.
Look at that Pikachu he got.
I mean, cool though if they include all the arts.
Oh my god.
They'll probably have like, because of laws and now you'll be guaranteed a legend if you put money into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is pay to win, pay to collect kind of thing.
Yeah, but it still will create an unfair advantage because you can have like 3 Moltreses. Let's say.
It doesn't matter. It's an app.
Yeah. I just love that you can you can trade the cards. You can
battle. You can they have.
So how long though? How long? This is kind of slightly unrelated. How long until you see people, like basically robbing each other for their phones and trading, like literally being real life Team Rocket?
I don't know if they'll be robbing for phones, but they'll definitely
no.
There's going to be black markets for
junk people for Pokemon Go's characters.
But like,
I think there'll be people like selling their cards on a black market. Like, hey, add me as a friend.
Give me
I'll give you this.
Like, hey, kid, he opens it up. He's got like phones.
But no, this is my all original Hoenn starters pack.
But as a game like that, you just have in your phone in your pocket.
Exactly.
It just makes
do that.
So I was talking to Dev.
I'm actually hyped though.
I was talking to Dev when he came over, and I said that for me, I love premium gaming experiences. So like, I love playing on my console. Like when I think of mobile gaming, I don't think of it as something that matters to me at all, because any game experience that I would want to play can't be played on a mobile, and like if it can, the ideal place to play it is console or like a PC.
True.
And like this is like one of the only time where I look at the game and I'm like, this game would not work on console. Like this is something that like, yeah, open up your phone, open your packs.
So okay, so did you play? Were you a big Yu-Gi-Oh kid?
Yeah, I played a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh
games. So did you play Master Duel at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so I'm kind of like Master.
But
Duel.
I'm saying it's
not that it wouldn't work on mobile. It's so much more convenient on console. It's so much.
It just makes more sense.
You open the app, you got cards.
Open your pack.
So
they got you with the nostalgia of how you open the packs. Like this is,
and you carry it around with you, so it's like you always have your Pokemon cards with you.
Here's what I'm trying to say is, ¿por qué no los dos? You can do all the above. You can have this. The cool thing about Master Duel is you can play your same account on your
but
PC.
I can't check my cards at work. And
you can. You can play. You don't have to transfer it. You have access to that account, and you can go. You can see it through your phone. You can see it. Through your
But is
Switch.
it an app? Is it an app that I just press and open and it's right there, or do I have to sign into this and log into this? And
well, you have to do that regardless. But that's just Master Duel. You have to do it on
That's
your
what I'm
phone,
saying. This is an app. You press a button and you swipe. And
I know, and I'm saying that's
Pokemon
good.
Cards.
I'm also saying it's cool though because it's like it's good to have the option where you can play it on the Switch or you can play it on PC as well, because you can do all three with the same account, with the same login credentials, same cards every time. You don't got to transfer or nothing. You can just casually log in and play. I'm just saying it'd be really cool if they did that too.
So Nat says that she knows an embarrassing amount of about Pokemon games. You're in the right place, Nat. Nat, remind me tomorrow on the wrestling podcast to show the Pokemon statues over there. She's tired, having a tough time typing. It's okay. Nintendo are generally better with gacha games, so I don't think this will be too bad. If they go the Snap route, that will be good.
See, I like the game. I like that they're gonna do the animations.
Yeah, cool, I love that you can go into the cards for it too. It says immersive card.
Yeah.
Art. You go in, and it's like an actual like environment. Again, I just think this is going to be really cool. This is something I'm going to download.
See,
they're going to
make so much money.
I'm going to open packs. I'm going to open my 2 free packs a day, and like, if it really takes off, maybe I'll buy a pack in here or there. Like, I'm definitely not going to spend a bunch of money because they're not real cards. But like, I could definitely see myself.
Let's mark the date.
Indulging
Jerome
myself.
says he's not going to spend a lot of money.
Flashback to the amiibos. Like, I don't need all these.
This is new amiibos.
10 years later.
He's gonna have like. He's gonna have the
a gigabyte worth of Pokemon cards.
I have like 5 phones just because I can't hold them all.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, this was awesome. Can't wait. It's coming out this year.
So my big thing though with this is I'm excited because I'm gonna learn how to fucking play.
That's what I was telling you. I was like, now I gotta learn how to play the game.
No, but the game won't let you mess it up. So that's what I like. That's what I like about.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I like about Master Duel is it can't do an illegal move.
Right, it won't let you. Right.
So that's what I like about this, and I can kind of learn. Plus, there's probably gonna be tutorials, and you can get extra credits to roll for more cards.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for Pokemon TCG Pocket.
Did you ever play the Game Boy one?
I played the Game Boy TCG a little bit. I didn't own it as a kid. It's on NSO, so I'm going to get to it eventually. But like, it's the only Pokemon.
Oh, it is on.
So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
So I beat it. That was the only, that was one of the first Pokemon games I ever beat.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to this day I won that game. Because I was just clicking buttons until something worked.
Yeah. And then, so the last game shown, Pokemon Legends Z-A, or Z to A. So, obviously, Forrest, I know that you are currently in the mud. Pokemon Legends is back.
I have no issues with A to Z or Z to A. The alphabet.
You don't like the Pokemon Legends games?
I don't like Legends Arceus.
Legends Arceus is a great game.
No, it's not.
And so we actually were arguing about this today. You said that you can't play a good game incorrectly. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you're wrong. So if you were playing Halo and you were like, I'm going to turn the camera around and walk backwards, are you gonna be getting a lot of kills with getting shot?
Well, if I'm walking backwards, then I want to do that. So yeah, I'm having a good time.
But you're not playing it right, so you're not going to do well. So most
don't know.
most people would probably be very frustrated.
When someone comes to flank me, I'm ready.
I don't think so.
But also, everyone's flanking me at the same time.
I just think you're incorrect. I just
did not like Legends Arceus because the game mechanic to level up was to catch Pokemon.
You just didn't play the game right.
I don't want to mill and marathon catch Pokemon.
You didn't have to do that.
Yes, you did, or you get level locked.
Bro, it's just not true. I played the game. I completed the Pokedex. How are you going to sit here and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about?
The game did not get fun until I made a semi-viral clip about a Machoke punching me in the head, and I said that this is what this game makes me want to do to myself.
So, Deborah, do you think that Forrest is correct when he says that you can't play a good game incorrectly?
No, I think you can play a game incorrectly.
A good game.
I think you can play any game
incorrectly. Yes.
If you try to Nuzlocke an Arceus game, I just don't think you're
playing
it
was just
right.
terrible. It just wasn't
You
smart.
might hate it.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I not only did I wasn't.
Yeah.
So once I realized it's not. Well, it is Nuzlockable actually, but.
So you didn't even play it well the way you wanted to play it.
Well, no, it's just extremely hard.
There it is. There it is. That was the problem. It was just too hard for him. He couldn't handle it.
But one of the things I hate in Pokemon, I hate it. I never ever catch more than one of the same Pokemon.
Sure.
That's it. But there are times in the Pokedex, especially at the beginning, you have to catch multiple.
No. There was about 10 challenges for each Pokemon. A lot of times it was using certain moves. It would be a lot using certain styles.
The thing is, you do have to catch multiple Pokemon. That is kind of the point of the game.
And I don't like that.
You could. It was one way to do it. There was other ways to do it. I didn't do that.
So I did.
But
I also don't like being told how to battle either.
Here's the thing: if you don't,
it's Pokemon. What do you mean?
No, I want to use.
It's you don't want to get rid of. So like one of the core things of the game is catching multiple Pokemon. That is something that's kind of core to the game. Yes, you can do other things to max out your Pokédex. But like sometimes you don't want to. Maybe catching 3 Raticates, if gets like 1 of 3 off your checklist, you're gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But I didn't.
It's a different exactly. It's a different style of game. It's like saying
exactly. And
I've been saying I don't want to punch people in a fighting game because I don't want to hurt someone. You know what I mean? Like
it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's silly.
It's. But no, so you can low kick them.
What I'm saying is you don't have to like the game. It's fine.
And that's what I've been saying. I don't like the
game. But you say it's a bad game because it's not.
It is a bad game.
It's not a bad game.
It's a bad Pokemon game.
You're allowed to not like it. That's not the problem.
I don't like it.
You think it's a bad game because you can't Nuzlocke it.
I swear, if you change Pokemon to Zelda, this is the same argument I have with Rome. Except you're me and you're Rome.
I don't like Legends Arceus.
I don't like Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild's good.
No,
that's the only Zelda I played.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's actually.
I also played Link's Awakening.
That's a whole different argument. We're not going to get into today.
I never got past the beach.
Oh well, that's really weird.
Because I played, I didn't want to go to where they told me to go, so I went somewhere else and I died, and then I just gave up.
He's like, it was a bad game.
It was a bad game.
He Nuzlocked.
You know what? Forrest is like
Forrest.
Forrest is the meme of the kid riding on the bike and he puts the stick through the spoke and it falls over. Like, how dare this game be bad?
Dude, nah. Legends Arceus is just.
Anyways,
it was a really bad tech demo.
I disagree. I loved it.
Scarlet was better.
I think when I reviewed it, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
It's okay.
I think it's an 8.5 out of 10 game.
Nostalgia fanboy goggles.
No, I think the game.
Oh no, you don't have a fondness for Pokemon at all.
No, I didn't say that. The game, it let you do things that, like, admittedly, like, I wanted that experience for like years.
I didn't.
Well, that really sucks to be you.
I wanted to be bloodthirsty in 3D.
No, I just wanted to hang around with my Pokepals and.
They're there to battle, and I'm there to dominate.
Be like, hello, new friend. And
I'm like, get your ass in the ring, put your hands up.
One of the coolest moments.
Beat the other one down. Don't die, or I'll have a panic
One
attack.
of the coolest moments ever was when I realized you could release your Pokemon from their Pokeballs and they just chill out with you, and it didn't do a goddamn thing. But I was like on the verge of tears. I'm like, this is everything to me. This is beautiful. Anyways,
in a bad game.
In terms of Legends ZA,
are they building Paris? Is that what the?
No, so it's Galar.
But that,
which was
Galar is Paris.
It's Lumos City. Yeah. So the game is taking place.
Are they building it?
I don't know.
That's what I was wondering because it looks futuristic, but the Legends games implies that it's in the past.
So here's the thing. So
Zekrom could be from the future.
Well, okay, so number one, here's some little things that Nintendo's made clear about the game. Number one, it's coming to Nintendo Switch in 2025. Number two, in 2 different tweets, the first one, from Pokemon says that it's an ambitious new entry to the Pokemon game series. So they are describing it themselves as ambitious.
Oh, that's code for we didn't finish the bugs.
I think it's they're going to build a lot.
Ambitious.
They're going to build off of a lot of the formula of Legends.
Yeah.
Arceus,
so he's gonna hate it.
They heard
if they make me catch multiple of the same Pokemon,
they're going.
They're not going. They're going to make that an option, but there's other things you can do.
No, Jerome, you can't lie. They are going to make you do that, but that is the point of the game.
No.
I'm telling you, dude, I completed the Pokedex and I didn't catch multiples of Pokemon most times. Like 99. There may have been like 1%. There may have been like 1% of the time where I was like, it would be easier just to catch like 5 of these. Like you could do that. I'm not saying it's not a thing, but like there was 9 other challenges and you only needed like 5 challenges.
Yeah, but don't tell me how to battle. I want to use Strong Style, Aqua Jet every time,
which is funny
and nothing else.
Which is funny because all the Pokemon had challenges to do moves in Strong Style.
Yeah.
So he could have done that instead, but instead he's like, I have to catch 20 Pidgeys.
Get out of here.
Anyways, and then the other tweet Nintendo put out said that the game is set entirely within Lumos City, which is basically, the one with the Eiffel Tower in X and Y. Yeah, Paris.
That part sounds crazy to me because it sounds like it's going to be a smaller focused game, which means they have to rely on story. Like, that sounds really cool to me. It's not the entire region, it's just that city.
And by the way, at the end of the trailer, it does kind of confirm that Mega Evolution's coming back.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yes. Yeah,
so that's the only thing that's got me actually interested.
But it is going to be an Arceus game. Like, they're building off of what made.
So I saw a really cool theory because you speculated, how are they going to go back in time?
Mm-hmm.
The theory I saw was if you think about Gen 4,
Godphone.
No, if you think about Gen 4, like Diamond Pearl and stuff, that whole game is about like time travel and stuff. So it makes sense that in the Gen 4 Legends game, it's about time travel.
Yeah.
So someone was speculating. Someone I follow, Taco. He makes really good videos. He made a great 2-hour-long video of why Arceus is a great game.
Send me it so I can comment on it.
I will not do that. Nat's excited about Mega Evolutions too. Taco. Yeah. But like TA.
To see Mega Evolutions in full 3D is actually
it's gonna be really awesome. It's gonna be dope. But so I don't think that this game is going to have to do with time traveling because I think that that's a really fair theory to have. That Gen 4 was all about time travel and dimensions and stuff like that. So it makes sense for the Legends game to be about that as well. So that means we have to figure out what exactly is X and Y about and like what does that mean for this game.
When I think of Legends, it doesn't necessarily have to be something in the past. It could just be the gameplay style.
Well, that city, Lumos City is there in the trailer.
I think it's going to be the gameplay style of Legends Arceus, where Pokemon are out, you're catching multiples of them, or you're trying to fill up the Pokedex with.
Now here's my question. There's a lot of domesticated Pokemon in Lumos City, so are you just gonna walk up, catch their dog?
What if the trick is you play as a Team Rocket Man?
That'd be sick.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
That would be great.
It's like Coliseum Light, or Coliseum Expanded.
Just do Coliseum again. Let them steal, but don't make them bad.
Yeah,
but so. I think it's going to actually be, So, was that schematics of the...
It kind of did. I don't know. We didn't see any gameplay. So, it's hard to judge it. We'll have to wait and see.
But it does look like schematics, though.
It does look like schematics.
So, they're either building Lumos City... But another thing is, you have to collect Zekrom.
That's a great point.
You have to get them in percentages.
So, Nat says that X and Y Legends are basically the visions of life and death.
Yep.
Oh, you know what would be really cool? If it is time-related, remember that one dude who's in the game who's, really old?
The guy with the little flower Pokemon?
Yeah, the little flower Pokemon.
That would be cool.
What if he shows up in the game? He's just like, hey, guys.
What if it's his story?
There's a lot of options.
Because wasn't there a huge-ass war?
There was.
They should be on the war, then.
Yeah.
Totally. What if the war is over pieces of Zekrom?
You guys are overthinking it.
But it would make sense that Zekrom is supposed to be, one of the most powerful Pokemon ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
Also, he turns into a Megazord when you get 100%.
Yeah. So overall, I thought this was actually a really great Pokemon Presents. I got a phone game that I'm really excited for, and I am excited for Legends. I loved Arceus, so I'm gonna assume this is gonna be better than Arceus. So I'm excited. However, I mean, like I have to mention that like it is still mind-numbingly insane to me that there is no official way to this day in 2024. There is no official way to buy any Pokemon games that came out before the Switch. Also, and I think it's really weird and really awkward that we sit here and we celebrate, Nintendo or whatever, or Game Freak, they sit here and they celebrate Pokemon Day, and it's just like, wow, this Pokemon franchise is so great. 28 years? There must be such a catalog. Where can I go to play these games? And Nintendo's like, shut up. Just give you like a backhand. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, I don't want to complain because I did like the Presents, but it's like, how is there no way to play Red, Blue, Gen 1, Gen
also,
2 at minimum? At minimum on the NSO. I just think it dry. Like, I don't understand it.
So they skipped Black and White.
They did. Well, I mean, maybe they're just not doing a remake because Galar's not a remake.
Yeah, I think their next remake might be Black and White.
Maybe.
Which that's
probably like 3 years out though, because you got to think they usually do every other year for the new gen.
Yeah.
So like 2025 we'll get this, and then like early 2025
and 2026 could be
or late 2025 will be Gen 9.
That could be it too. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. There was also a Nintendo Partner Direct. We're gonna run through these games real quick. Stop me if it's something you want to talk about.
Ooh.
So first up, we will talk about the Xbox games, so just hold that. But so Grounded was officially announced for the Switch. It's coming out April 16th. Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist is coming out this year. Arranger, a role puzzling adventure. Arranger. Summer 2024. Unicorn Overlord comes out March 8th, which actually that looks pretty good. I don't know why none of these are loading on my screen right now, but Monster Hunter Stories is getting a Switch port. Summer 2024. You're a big Monster Hunters fan.
Yeah, I never played the Stories one though.
That's a 3DS one.
Yeah. It's basically Pokemon.
I would say this was one of the bigger announcements for me, like in my opinion.
Nibby.
So Disney Epic Mickey is getting a remake coming to Switch, but also coming to PS5 and Xbox.
Huh.
You're kind of crazy because like that was like the big Wii game for a while there. I think you play it. No,
I
who played it?
I think it was him.
Oh, was it?
No,
you?
I didn't have it.
One of our friends played it, and they were like, "Oh, it was really good."
Was it Ivan?
Maybe Alan.
Yeah, it was Alan.
It was Alan. Yeah.
So this I'm confused about. Shin Megami
Tensei 5 Vengeance. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, adds new chapter and storyline.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I guess it's like an expansion. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, my big announcement of the show, but we'll talk about that later. Oh, I'm so excited. South Park Snow Day got a trailer here coming out March 26, 2024. It's also coming out on other consoles. Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream coming out 2024 as well.
That's an anime.
Gundam Breaker 4 is coming out this year to
that's
Switch and PlayStation.
Cool.
Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, June 25th, 2024. World of Goo 2 is coming out on May 23rd. Fantasy Life I, October 10th. Another Crab's Treasure, April 25th. Now
That's the one I thought that was the one I was interested in. That one looks really cool.
Yeah.
But not Shogun.
You become a hermit crab and reclaim your prized shell in an epic treasure hunt across a polluted ocean.
That sounds like a dev game. I don't know
It just,
why.
It does sound like a dev game.
The gameplay style is like Souls-like and like, but it's like
more like Shells-like.
No. And like you're changing your shell from like a tomato can to like you're upgrading your shell as you go along and stuff like that.
Is it? Cool. It feels like the game where like you gotta like put the stuff in the hole. You know what I'm talking about? The Donut County.
Oh, Donut County.
No,
Donut County was fun. I like Donut County.
Yeah, but no, it just got that energy.
Yeah. Penny's Big Breakaway came out the day of the Direct. Sukiya game multiplayer DLC. Suika, sorry.
That game is mad popular.
Okay.
It's basically Tetris, but you make fruits.
Oh, okay, so it's like Fruit Ninja.
No, you don't cut them.
Oh, okay. Pepper Grinder.
I said that with such
March 28th.
No, you don't cut them.
Pocket Card Jockey Ride On came out the day of the Direct. Snoofkin, Melody of Moomin Valley.
Snufkin, Melody of Moomin Valley.
I'm sorry, jeez. Tales of Kenzera, Zao, comes out on April 23rd, 2024. Demon Slayer.
That
Sweep the board.
wait, isn't that Demon Slayer Mario Party?
It's a board game, yeah.
Yeah, it's Demon Slayer Mario Party.
Kingdom Come Deliverance is getting a Royal Edition Switch port.
That's funny that game's coming to Switch.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is this? The
Kingdom Come. It's like, well, how would you describe it? It was like
you play as it's like two armies coming together. It's multiplayer. It's very violent.
But it was also kind
is
of
it
like
the stick people one?
No, but it was also like an Elder Scrolls kind of style RPG as well. But everything was real time. So like, the world around you continued no matter what. So like, say you were doing a quest and the guy was like, "I'll meet you there." You know how like you just go there. He would actually walk there. And if you didn't if you weren't there when he got there, it's like, bro, where were you? Like,
I think to save you have to sleep in a bed. Like
you have to sleep in a bed. It's very like what's the word I'm looking for?
Almost realistic.
Yeah, like real. It's like a real life simulator, but like medieval real life simulator kind of deal. This is on my backlog.
That sounds as stressful as real life.
It does sound stressful.
Yeah, make sure you sleep. Fuck, damn it. Contra Operation Galaga, coming out on March 12th. Pentiment was shown during a sizzle reel, another one of the Xbox's games, and that came out on the 22nd last week. And I believe... Oh, and then so they showed that 5 classic Rareware games were coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. Blast Corps was the big one for people. And then they announced Endless Ocean Luminous, which doesn't really mean anything to me. So, like, overall for me, I came out of this with, like, one announcement I was really excited for, which was Star Wars. And I feel like you also came out with one announcement.
That I'll probably never get. It just looked cool.
Yeah. Was there anything that you stuck out to you?
I was curious about the Vengeance thing, and then there was another one, but I already forgot, so didn't stick with me.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I'm like, it's definitely one of those. It's like a list of games that like I'll see on the eShop one day when I'm really bored.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna move on. Number 4 on the headlines. We now know the 4 Xbox games that are going multi-platform. The first one obviously was Pentiment, which was shown at the Nintendo Direct. This came out for the PS4, PS5, and Switch on February 22nd. Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PS5 on March 19th.
Damn.
Now there is a rumor that it's going to launch on the Super Switch, which is why there was not a Switch announcement.
Oh.
That's just a rumor though.
I would love to play Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch. That feels like such a Switch game.
Grounded was also announced again at the Nintendo Direct, and that is coming April 16th to PS4, PS5, and Switch. And then finally, Sea of Thieves is getting a PS5 version, not a Switch version, but a PS5 version on April 30th. These titles are going to be going multi-platform and joining other Xbox games that have technically gone multi-platform, such as Call of Duty, amongst others. So, obviously, these games, they talked about at the Xbox Business, podcast, and we talked about it as well. Grounded and Sea of Thieves make a lot of sense. They are live service games, and adding players to those live service counts is smart. Pentiment, excellent game, reviewed very well. Makes a lot of sense to put that on other platforms. Hi-Fi Rush, same thing. Huh?
What's Pentiment?
Pentiment's kind of like, I don't want to explain it. It's like a historical... I'll just read it right off of this. From Obsidian Entertainment, a truly unique, critically acclaimed, and award-winning narrative adventure with a striking visual inspired by history itself, coming to PS4, PS5, and Switch on February 22nd. It's a...
PS4 gets support still?
Yes. So is the Xbox One. That's another thing that people aren't talking about with console sales, and it's going to be really interesting next year in 2025 when everybody is forced to buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X for GTA 5. Or 6 for GTA 6. Nobody is talking about that. It's just like,
not only that. So the PS5 Pro comes out this year, and PlayStation's already saying that it's the best way to play GTA 5.
6.
GTA 6.
Yeah, sorry, I did that. I set you up for that.
5.5.
Yeah. So it's like everyone's gonna have to get a PS5 Pro
or a
Series
X,
the best, or a Series X to play it.
Well, there's rumors that there's gonna be a white discless Series X coming out this year that is it's not like a complete like a Pro, but it is gonna be. Apparently, it's going to be a little bit better than the Series X.
Okay.
That's the rumor.
I'm still worried about the whole parity with the Series S thing. That kind of like...
Well, that's the other thing people don't realize is that Xbox is also still giving parity with the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So, that's another thing that, Xbox doesn't really look at, which is really interesting to me personally, because they say that their console sales have kind of stopped growing. And we talked about it last week where I think console users as a whole have kind of hit a point where I don't know how much more they'll grow. But there are a lot of people on their Xbox One still that just haven't had the need. You know, Jackie's sister bought an Xbox One like a couple weeks ago, and she has Game Pass, and she's playing games on Game Pass on her Xbox One. So why would she go and buy a newer console? Like, she just bought an Xbox One like a couple weeks ago, and she was talking to me about it. She's like, yeah, I got Game Pass, and I'm playing some of these other little games on Game Pass. I'm having a great time with it. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, those are the 4 games coming to other consoles as of right now.
It's almost like the Xbox One can just stay as like a way back machine.
Kind of. Number 5 on the headlines. I thought this was really interesting. Again, this came out last night and would not have been talked about until next week, but details on Assassin's Creed Infinity's live service up. You can tell what days I wake up at 5 a.m. by my podcasting. So this came out last night from Insider Gaming. Detail on Assassin's Creed Infinity's first emerged courtesy of Jason Schreier and Bloomberg in a report in 2021. But now, Insider Gaming has more information. Essentially, Assassin's Creed Infinity will be the core hub of the franchise, from which games including Red, Hex, and Invictus will be launched. Demo footage provided to Insider Gaming, under the condition that the footage doesn't go public, shows the user going from the Infinity Hub to Assassin's Creed Red within just a few seconds, picking up where they left off rather than having to boot the games up individually after falling back to the hub. So Infinity sounds like it's a launcher, which I don't know how that's going to work on consoles, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Launchers make sense for a lot of different things. It does not make sense for
a franchise,
a single player.
I agree.
For a franchise game.
Well, so there will be more. So let's keep going and give you more details before you form an opinion. The main focus of Infinity is a live service offering, which is told via modern-day story. To start, Infinity will launch on the same day as Red, which is coming out this fiscal year, we know. Or, I'm sorry, I think this year, as in 2024. It will contain several features that you would expect from a live service. The Exchange will be the item shop, offering players the opportunity to purchase daily and weekly in-game cosmetics for Red's 2 protagonists, Nao and Yasuke. In addition to the Exchange, Infinity also has a synchronization feature that allows players to access projects for each protagonist. To explain them in their simplest form, projects are mini battle passes, with a narrative behind them offering players the ability to earn cosmetic rewards. Projects will be added throughout Infinity constantly, focusing mainly on DLC and new game releases, or even as a means of sustaining players' interest during a lack of new content. It's understood that current strategy for Ubisoft with Infinity is to release a mainline game every 2 years, with smaller experiences every other year. So basically an Assassin's Creed release every year. Red is scheduled for this year. Invictus, which will be a multiplayer offering, is being planned for 2025. Hex is coming in 2026. Hex is penned as being the darkest Assassin's Creed game ever. We'll have a lead female protagonist currently named Elsa, and for the first time since Assassin's Creed Chronicles in China. So basically a female lead. I'm so excited for Hex.
Yeah,
I'm excited,
Hex
honestly,
sounds
for
good.
all
I don't
of
think
this.
I've ever had such little information about a game. I'm so excited for
Keep
it.
it that way. Just drop it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just so excited for Hex.
Even the stuff we heard from Red sounds really cool. Where like you're hiding in the shadows, you got blow out candles and like take out lights and like.
So
Pretty
other
good shot.
So other projects that are coming to Assassin's Creed and Infinity include Project Obsidian, which is a Black Flag remake, Nebula, which is a settings based in India, Aztec Empire, and Mediterranean, Raid, which is a free-to-play 4-player co-op that's PvE, Echoes, another multiplayer title, and another Assassin's Creed remake. All of these games are coming out by the end of this decade.
Assassin's Creed 1.
Do you think Infinity is you're just in the Animus and that's what
I think
the
it's
whole point is?
it's
I think
absolutely
that's
what
the
it
story.
is. That's absolutely what
And
Infinity is.
I don't think it's bad as long as it's not required to play any of those games. If I can buy those games separately, it's fine.
So
I think this is for diehard Assassin's Creed fans, like people who are like, Assassin's Creed's my bread and butter.
So-
Because I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm interested in this, but who knows?
So
It's
here's
a
the thing.
Launcher, right?
Yeah, it's
So-
just a
It's what it
launcher.
seems like. It just seems like
Yeah.
a hub where you launch the games from. Like that's
Yeah.
what I get from it. Is that like the battle passes will be there. like the menus are there, but then when you want to launch a game, you go into the Infinity Hub and you pick a game and you launch.
And your customizable items that you pay for certain games will cross over between games. Like
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that would be the idea.
That makes sense.
Like
that'd
outfits
be cool.
and stuff like that.
So that'd be cool if I could like bring my red stuff to Hex.
Yeah, or like you buy an Ezio outfit and now every assassin will have the Ezio outfit.
That'd be sick.
That's something they do.
Which is weird considering would Ubisoft willingly do that to themselves? Where it's like. Because people buy the Ezio outfit every game. Yeah. Are they going to not sell the Ezio outfit every year anymore? Which I'm okay with, but are they okay with that?
Ezio
is that how it's going to work?
They can do like Ezio, Assassin's Creed 2 Ezio,
and then
Brotherhood Ezio. Yeah, they can do that for each game. There's other ways to make money from it.
So my way of looking at it is
you have Connor, you have Kenway, you have like all these people to.
So my takeaway is that I am very excited for this slate of games. Specifically, I'm excited for Red.
Yeah.
I'm excited for a multiplayer Assassin's Creed game. I enjoyed those multiplayer offerings on the
360.
The PvE sounds really cool. Hex sounds awesome. A Black Flag remake, sign me up. Like, I'm very excited for the Assassin's Creed games that we're getting. And as long as the Infinity Hub doesn't hinder my enjoyance of those games, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I do think it's weird to have a launcher for one franchise, especially a franchise that again, I don't know how it's going to work on console. I mean, I just
that's
think,
what I'm wondering.
So, what are you going to have to, I mean, I guess they could go the Call of Duty route where Call of Duty is such a massive install at this point that you can kind of select a la carte what you want to have installed. Like if you want to play Warzone and you want to play the campaign in Warzone, but you don't want to play the multiplayer, you can choose to just install the campaign in Warzone.
But launchers,
so maybe it'll be like that.
Launchers make sense for multiplayer games. Like Halo Collection is it's just a bunch of it's just like the Master Chief Collection. It makes sense for multiplayer games. This is primarily a single player driven,
I think, but also it's
30, 40 hour, 50 hour game.
But they're saying it's going to continue through, so it's not just one game. It's going to then it's going to be 2 games, then it's going to be 3 games, then it's going to be 4 games. Also, how do we know it's not going to have connectivity with Mirage?
This could be something, and I know we get into physical digital stuff, but if you download this app or however it's going to work, you're just going to buy the game from there. Mm-hmm. It makes it less of a reason to go out and try to buy this Red as a physical if I can just get it from the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed app.
So why can't I just also get it as a physical? And
that's what I'm saying. Hopefully they do it so that I even imagine if you buy the physical copy, it's probably going to download next or whatever it's called onto your console. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're going to play the game through that launcher whether you like it or not.
Which is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
At least it's at least they're turning. Maybe it's just they hit a point where they need this launcher and they're trying to make it fun. So they're you're getting it in the chair, and then you get to go into the thing, and you get to be an Abstergo.
I think it's less of that. I think it's hey, let's how to.
And then Sony's gonna let you off from Abstergo.
They're building a live service around the menu of the game. That's the part that's crazy.
Which is new.
Yeah, new is one way to put it.
I mean, it's different. I'm kind of here for it.
Usually you launch you put the launcher to get to the game. Now your launcher is a game, and it's
which is cool.
I guess
it's basically they took somebody did a line of coke and then was what if we took that Master Roshi game from Budokai and made a whole game while your other game loads,
yeah. I guess I don't know.
It's basically the no more loading screens. So play a game while your game downloads.
Listen, as long as the games are good, I don't care about.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
I don't care about the launcher.
Yeah. Anyways,
it'd be cool though if you because we've now hit a point where they did say that it's the modern day stuff will be taking place during Infinity.
The Hub, yeah.
So what if you get to make a character in Infinity and
you're just that person.
You're that assassin all the time?
I can see that working.
And then you just
that would be cool actually
because then you can you basically you create a character in the Infinity Hub. Because at that point, I think storyline wise, you're now working with Abstergo.
No, that would work. If you played Desmond and he was throughout the game, it was still him. It's your own. It's a customizable Desmond essentially.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on Assassin's Creed. Obviously, Red coming out this year. Infinity will launch with it, so we'll have further thoughts in the future.
I'm very curious.
I am as well. Next up on the headlines, just going to run through some of this stuff real quick. So Phil Spencer did another interview with Steven Totillo from GameFile. Talks about the layoffs. The global game industry is growing, but barely, with 2023 game industry revenues up only 0.6% from last year. Microsoft is struggling to find new players, with console games being given a significant portion of the market, or playing a significant portion of the market. Quote, I don't think we're doing a good enough job finding new players, Spencer said. Let's pick consoles as a good example. We found 200 million global households that will play console games, and that number really hasn't changed in the last 5-6 years. He talks about we've raised the price of games, acknowledging the common $70 price point. We went through COVID. We found out ways of getting more money per player, and I think at some point you reach a peak on that, and frankly, it can go some places that are manipulative that I'm not a big fan of. So Phil, again, talking about, he's like, we're not trying to extort our customers more than we already are. That's why we're going to go and try to get new customers, which we talked about.
We're out of ideas on how to extort the people that are there.
I think that they could definitely find new ways to extort their customers. And again, Phil says that at that point it gets manipulative, and he doesn't want to do that. The solution is to find new customers, as we said. He says, I have a commitment to the company on the Xbox business being a profitable and growing part of Microsoft, and I need to put us in the best position for long-term growth. Most of that is about building great products that exceed their expectations and find millions of customers. But honestly, the cost of building the products, inclusive of the people who work on them, I need to make sure we have enough of the right people and the right number of people in the right places for us to succeed. Revenue grew 61% in the last 3 months of 2023, largely due to the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Without them, the gaming revenue would have grown 6%, but lower than other Microsoft divisions. Microsoft's jobs eliminations from its gaming teams was unexpected, including one full game project shutdown at Blizzard. The cuts were a combination of looking across the full portfolio and the areas of alignment between Activision, ZeniMax, and Xbox. He also noted that since the acquisition of ZeniMax 3 years ago, the organization added about 15,000 people to its business. In terms of cloud gaming, he says that Microsoft is leveraging cloud streaming to attract new players, de-emphasizing consoles as essential devices. Cloud gaming now accounts for a double-digit percentage of total Xbox game hours played. And any conversation we have on cloud is very time-dependent because it's growing so fast. Xbox cloud gaming growth in the last 6 months, he said, has been in markets that are never going to be console markets and has been spreading across TVs, Chromebooks, and Android tablets. Phil expects the Series S to outsell the Series X lifetime overall. There was a point in this thing where he does also talk about that, the console market is still a thing and they are committed to hardware. And he also says that they're committed to physical releases as long as the market dictates it, which we'll talk more about that in a few seconds. And then the last thing of note during the interview was that Phil does confirm commitment to bring Activision Blizzard games to Game Pass. He says, our intent is the full portfolio of games from ZeniMax, Activision, and Xbox Game Studios will all be Game Pass day one, which a lot of people were wondering if Call of Duty was going to come to Game Pass day one, but according to what Phil's saying, it will be. Moving on, number 7 in the headlines, kind of also adding on to what Phil said about physical releases. So Xbox is teaming up with Limited Run Games. They are releasing physical releases of Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush. The Pentiment is getting Xbox, PlayStation 5, and Switch port or releases. Hi-Fi Rush, Xbox, and PS5. I think this is the way to go personally. I mean, I think
for now,
here's my thing.
You still should sell physical for now.
So here's no my reason. Thing, and we're going to continue arguing. It is what it is, and
I want physical till I die.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I don't want my point to be misconstrued as disagreeing with your point, because I feel like that happens a lot with this cloud thing, where it's like I understand that cloud is going to become the primary way to game at some point.
Yeah.
Number one, I do think that we're at least 10 years out from that. That's just how I feel.
Okay.
I think that at the end of the day, it's all about having as many customers as possible. I think that you look at the music industry and the movie industry as ways of looking at, like, you can go into a store right now and, like, Green Day put out an album out last month. You can go into a store and buy a vinyl of that. So, like, I don't see any reason why
it should die.
It should die. I mean, like, it doesn't need to be. Here's the thing. Physical games.
I think we're saying physical as in the case you put on your shelf.
Yeah.
I don't think, in terms with the vinyl's the same way companies put out a statue for games. I think there's always going to be something
for people. You play the vinyls. You could go buy a record player in 2024.
But the vinyls they're not counting numbers for vinyls. They're not counting numbers for CDs. They're counting numbers for Apple. They're accounting for Spotify. Those are the numbers that matter. Vinyl is very niche. They're more expensive. Once they sell out, you got to buy them resale. That's a lot like other physical things, which like statues and stuff like that.
Well, so the thing I like is limited run games. I think that's a great way to operate it, even in the future. Like I'm talking like 5-10 years from now, where look. Here's the thing. Put out a disk drive. People will buy disk drives separately. Like there is an audience for it, and the same thing goes for the physical discs. But you could just make enough to sustain the demand of it.
In that same article, which you conveniently didn't read, in that same article where he said we're going to chase physical for as long as possible, he gives like 6 reasons why physical is kind of unnecessary.
Right,
and he says like, but we're still going to do it for now.
Well, I cut that for time, to be honest. We are running late. I didn't do it to not prove a point.
But I'm saying like it's getting harder and harder to justify putting the disc into things, especially when cloud is getting so much bigger. A lot of younger people are just playing games straight on their phone. They don't sit down in consoles anymore. Like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're not doing that. Cloud is rising for a reason. People are moving to it. It's,
right, and again, I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. I just think that they're going to continue to offer this for people that want to do it that way, because why would you turn the customer away? If someone, if for me, right, like let's say the next generation of Xbox doesn't come with a disk drive, which it might not. Like I don't know. Like PlayStation right now, they offer a disk drive that you can buy for the digital PS5s.
Yeah.
Like there is a market of people that will buy, including myself.
Yeah.
If Microsoft said to me, "Hey, here's our Xbox. It doesn't have a disk drive. For an extra $80, we'll sell you a disk drive. You plug it into the console, and there you go. And we will continue to sell discs as well, via like a limited run. Because limited run, I like the way they do it. Pentiment went live. I pre-ordered the Xbox Pentiment copy. Now I'm not going to get it for a few months, because what they do is that they have pre-orders open for a window. You order in that window, and then you get the disc after that window closes. Now, granted, I would like for them to be more timely with releases if they do it this way, like moving forward. Like, because for example, so I pre-ordered it like 2 days ago. I'm not getting it till August. I would like for them to get a little bit more on top of that, like maybe before a game releases, open up the pre-order window and like have that sorted out. But like I don't see any reason why you can't do that, because if the customer is willing to foot the bill, which I am, and I know I'm not alone in that, there are ways you can do it. That
you're not
sense.
alone in that, but you're a very small market. That pie chart, the people on that pie chart that you represent is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
I'm not
every
arguing
year.
that. I'm just thinking that you could continue to offer it until people aren't going to buy it,
or until they're going to do it. They're going to do it until money becomes an issue.
If Microsoft
putting
says
a disk drive into a console makes the console jump up in price, where they can bring down that price and sell the console all digital.
You didn't listen to a word I said.
Yeah, but they got to make it. They still have to spend the money to get it made.
Yeah, but if they
have to hope that people buy it.
But if they take orders beforehand and you can gauge an interest, like you could do it that way. Like it's not. I don't think it's out of the realm of.
Okay, but why do you start a whole production if you're only going to sell 5,000? If you're only going to sell 5,000 consoles, why do you?
5,000
still, but to his point.
Yeah, but it's getting smaller and smaller every year. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
I think 5,000 is an unrealistic number.
I'm not going to put something on my menu if not a lot of people are going to buy that item.
I just think 5,000 is an unrealistic number, and that's also
no. I'm saying 5,000 for the future. It's probably like for Xbox in general, maybe 20,000, 30,000 max.
There's 20 million console users right now.
But that number gets smaller. Yeah, I meant million, but that number gets smaller every year.
Well, no, we're actually finding it's not that it's getting smaller. We're finding that it's not growing.
But I mean the
console.
No,
the console
user
base
switch
isn't shrinking.
No, I'm talking about the switch
growing.
from physical to digital sales. That's what I mean. That physical sale is shrinking every year, and digital is growing so much to the point where it's like, hey, our physical is like at what point do you cut it off? At 25%? At 20%? At 15%? You know what I mean?
Well, also I think what we're seeing is just the catering to the more casual market.
Absolutely, it's always like that.
And I'm not saying don't.
We're not their target demographic anymore.
And that's kind of
sure. Yeah,
that's basically that's the way everything goes.
They're selling to the kids. If the kids aren't using it, then they're going to get rid of it and save money for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and to Dev's point,
I'm not saying I want it to go away. I just when you look at the path of where it's going, this is what you see. People are buying digital more. They're not buying physical as much. You are still buying physical. A lot of us are still buying physical, but we grew up with physical.
Well, so my point is, and again,
it matters more to us.
We're not disagreeing, and that's the thing. It's important to remember. Is like we're not.
You're saying that they can do both, and I'm saying they can do both until it doesn't make sense to do the other thing.
I think if it's a niche audience, you could still do it. Like that's my point.
You gave the perfect
argument.
You're saying,
but that's also so you're like, oh, they're
You're trying to bargain with them.
They're going to be my friend.
No, I'm not bargaining. I'm just saying if the customer's willing to foot the bill and pay for it, which those of us who do this are.
What Dev is saying though is that it'll hit a point where it's not even worth that.
Yeah, that's
to make it.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Realistically, you're gonna leave your house and go to that store and buy, or go to Amazon and buy that product. Eventually, that number of people who are doing that is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
So my counter argument to that would be, I think that what you're seeing right now, the people that are buying physical now would continue to choose to buy physical, and therefore that would be the audience. So if the audience, like, I agree that digital is becoming the default way to do it. But I'm saying, like, in 2024, is there really anybody that is buying physical?
Yeah.
That is... No, I'm saying that a casual that is buying physical that is choosing not to buy digital. No, if you're in 2024, if you're buying a physical game, you are making that decision. I am buying this game physically because I don't want to buy it digitally.
But that's another reason, though. Look.
Well, it's kind of like so basically it's like hardcore audience versus casual audience.
But no, it's not even that. You don't go from... You buy physical, and then one day you make the change to digital, like I did, and you kind of don't go back. Mm-hmm. You don't start at, I'm going to buy digital. Now I'm going to buy physical one day.
No, I understand. You know what I mean? Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. More and more people are moving to digital. They're either moving to digital or like Gen Z or Gen A start out in digital.
See, my point though is that you're saying that these people are in the process of doing that. I think they've already done it. No, I think that if you want to buy digital games over physical, you're already doing it.
I don't think so.
I can't think of, like, there's no way people in 2024 are being
so you're thinking, what you're saying is that no more people are quitting. That's it.
No,
things are already physical and digital, and you've cast your line in the sand, and that's what you're staying.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably some variance, some movement, but I think in general, maybe outside of like parents buying kids Christmas gifts, like I think that what you're seeing is that, like,
here you go, Timmy. Here's mom's credit card. Go download your favorite game.
If you in 2024
From
buying,
Santa.
I think if a gamer or if a customer
shut up.
If a customer
I understand
is
what you're
there
saying.
buying the physical game in 2024, that is going to be their preferred way of doing it.
But what happens? What happens when you get a Alan Wake 2 situation where I really want this game and it's digital? You boycotted the game. Most people are going to be like, I don't care.
Well,
it's Alan Wake 2.
It's not that I boycotted. There were just other games that came out that month.
I know, but
it's on my Xbox wish list. If someone wants to buy it,
it is. But you had a very strong. For multiple episodes, you were very angry at them.
Yeah, I was like, it's dumb. I think it's very dumb.
But what I'm saying is when they...
And you know what? Because of that, I didn't buy it.
Let's say, just for example, hypothetical, they're not going to do this. GTA 6 is digital only. People don't care.
No, I mean,
you are not going to care. You are going to get GTA 6. I'm going to get GTA 6.
Sure. But
that's what I'm saying. When more companies start doing that, it's like, once you do it once and you're like, hey, I'm playing the game, I didn't go out and leave my house to do it. So I might as well do it again.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm the anomaly to your point. I flip-flopped. I had Destiny downloaded. I actually used to download a lot of stuff. And then I stopped because I was just like, I mean, I'm sure I'm more of an outlier than the case, but I got into the point where I was just like, I want the physical because I want to physically hold it.
So he's not good at helping me get Amiibo, but he's right. He's like,
all right.
Anyways,
so I'm the counter to your argument because that literally happened to me. I went back. Okay. I didn't like digital.
All right.
I don't know if it's the same in my brain for some reason. I don't know why, and I'm probably wrong. Is just for some reason I also think it takes less space if it has the disc.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not.
No, it's just not true.
I know, but
that's just not true at all.
Like in my brain, it makes it happier.
You help out Rome's argument, so he's all for it.
Anyways,
this idiot is helping.
It's like dance, puppet dance. No, but so I don't know. You know, when that day comes and like physical,
you're still going to be gaming.
Hey, listen.
You're just going to be mad at the world when you do it.
It's going to be like, Grandpa.
So when digital is 100%, there's no more physical games. Just come to my grave and let me know that it happened, and then you can.
You're going to be sitting right here.
I'll be dead.
You're going to drop a tear as you press A to download.
I'm hoping to be dead in the next 10, 20 years.
GTA 7.
Yeah, whatever.
Again, look, I'm not dumb or naive. Like, I get it. Like, again, like I told you, like within the last month, like I noticed there was like 5 Xbox games, and I'm like, oh wow, I really want to play this, but there's no physical copy right now. So I have them wishlisted. I have like 5 wishlists games on my Xbox right now. I think 6 now because I added Battlefront.
But you have a crazy backlog. Some people don't have that crazy backlog. This is the game that they want to play. They're not gonna just wishlist it. This is the game they came for.
Yeah,
you know.
I get it. Well, I mean, Again, I'm hoping to be dead in the next 10 years, so we'll see what happens. Next up on the headlines, more Nintendo Switch 2, or Super Switch as we call it here. Apparently the reveal is planned for June. Brazilian journalist Pedro Henrique Lutilipe, who has successfully leaked Nintendo announcements in the past, says the reveal of the successor to the Nintendo Switch is scheduled for this June. In addition to the next console announcement, the same leaker says a general Nintendo Direct is coming in April. An Indie World Showcase, he adds, could be coming in March. He says, everything is in flux, as always, but I'm feeling good, he says. So that's something to keep an eye on. And news came out that the Super Switch is targeting a March 2025 release date. It was delayed to avoid shortages, according to a new report.
Yeah, okay.
By Japanese news publication Nikkei, which claims that the Switch successor internal delay, which was reported earlier this month, was partly so that Nintendo could avoid potential hardware supply issues. Now, to be fair, Nintendo has said in I think last year, that they were planning on trying to eliminate or avoid a console shortage at the launch.
Again.
That's what they want to do. They want to be able to ensure that people, if you want to buy a Switch 2 or Super Switch,
I think
day one,
in a
you
way
can buy it.
I think that's smart.
I love that. I think it's great.
It's smart. That's what you're supposed to do.
Although
Why are
Nintendo
we
planned,
praising them for doing the bare
because
minimum?
no one's done it before, including Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo didn't do it.
My parents, I remember they always tell me for Christmas the year the Wii came out, they had to win a lottery at GameStop on Black Friday at 3 in the morning. Not only did they have to go to a GameStop at 3 in the morning on Black Friday, they had to win a lottery to get me a Wii. Like, I'm sorry, that's just...
Did you get the Wii?
I did.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, they said there was 30, and they were like the 26th name called for the 30 Wiis that they had. I was like, yeah, great job. I played Mario Galaxy for 2 years. That was it. No, that's not true. Twilight Princess and Mario Galaxy and Brawl, and that was it. So although the Switch 2 planned a late 2024 launch, according to Nikkei, priority was given to ensure the initial inventory of the successor console and a lineup of software titles at the time of its launch in an attempt to avoid widespread reselling. So basically, yeah, Nintendo, they wanted to make sure their first-party lineup was strong and that they had enough consoles. So, I mean, I can't be mad about that.
I'm surprised this is like groundbreaking news.
It is, no.
But I'm like, yeah, you should have done this.
But nobody does this. Anyways, moving on. Number 9, Devereaux's picked game of the year. Devereaux was like, this game's gonna be great. He was so excited for this game.
Did he? Did you actually?
He didn't say that, but he kind of said.
I know how bad Skull and Bones is. That's why I'm like, did you really say that?
So here's an exclusive from Insider Gaming.
I love Water of Tanks.
Skull and Bones has less than 1 million players total,
Damn.
including the players who downloaded the free trial.
So sad.
I told you this
is
was
the
coming.
game.
I warned you. You were like, no, it's going to be all right. Insider Gaming sources have revealed that Skull and Bones, which is dubbed as Ubisoft's first quadruple A game by its CEO, has less than 1 million players total. Speaking with sources, the game currently has around 850,000 players total at the time of the writing of this article, which includes those who have opted to play the game with the 8-hour free trial provided by Ubisoft. At the moment, players are seemingly fairly engaged, with the average player playing between 3 to 5 hours a day. However, whether or not that will change once the free trial expires, or if it will convert players into full purchases, remains to be seen, and we likely won't get the data until the company's next earning call in May.
Not $70.
One major factor in low player numbers has been attributed to the decision to make the game fully priced at $70, a decision that has been criticized both publicly and internally at Ubisoft,
Nice.
sources said.
That feels like a $40 game.
Here's a quote. I think we all know this is a $30 to $40 game at best, but it's not in our control to determine those things, said one employee who worked on the game.
Eesh.
Well, clearly there was probably no demand or desire to play a pirate game, right? I mean, it's not like Assassin's Creed Black Flag's player count rise by 31% since Skull and Bones came out.
Yeah.
Next up in the
Everyone
head.
went back to Black Flag.
Yeah.
It's also like, this is almost just like the trend we're seeing is like, so these people that made Black Flag made a worse game. These people that made Arkham Batman made a worse game.
Yeah. So, since Skull and Bones has come out, Assassin's Creed Black Flag has gained 31% more players on Xbox after the Skull and Bones beta.
I am ahead
Over the past 2 weeks, we've seen a sharp rise in Black Flag player count and players unlocking Black Flag achievements. This is from TrueAchievements.com, by the way. That's how they have these numbers, because they track achievements. From what we can tell, it seems all the buzz surrounding Ubisoft's new quadruple A adventure title, Skull and Bones, is likely behind the influx of players returning to the classic Assassin's Creed game. Now, the problem is, I think, mostly, is Skull and Bones is not a pirate game. It's a boat game.
It is a boat game.
You play as a boat.
Yeah.
You go up to the shore, and the boat, it chops the tree down.
Yeah.
You go to board. You go to board another boat. The boat bumps into it. And
World
that's
of
it.
Tanks.
It's World of Boats.
I was calling it. I said Water of Tanks.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, Devereaux. So I'm sorry. We talked about this for years.
Just go play Black Flag.
We literally talked about this for years, where he was optimistic and hopeful that the game.
Yeah, I was optimistic. It's
not. It's not.
And I
hard.
told you. I tried to warn you. I was like, it's going to be a 50 on Metacritic, and here we are.
But it's like it's not hard. You already had everything.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they
How do you just not do?
Someone should write a book about the development of Skull and Bones.
Someone should write a book about the development cycle in general.
Yeah, maybe. Number 10 on the headlines. Classic Star Wars Battlefront is fucking back.
1 and 2?
Yes, so it was announced at the Nintendo Direct, but it's also coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam on March 14th. The package will include all original bonus content from both games, and support for cross-platform play up to 64 players online. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection will also include the original campaigns of both games, which are based on iconic battles from across the Star Wars movies. Finally, the new collection will include support for 2-player split screen, plus trophies and achievements. The package will include the following as well: Star Wars Battlefront 1's classic... So it comes to Star Wars Battlefront 1, the original, and that includes the bonus Jabba's Palace map. And then Battlefront 2, and it includes all of the old bonus content for that as well. Bespin Cloud City, Renvar Harbor, Renvar Citadel, and Yavin 4. It also includes bonus heroes Asajj Ventress and Kit Fisto.
Those are words.
Those are words. Well, those are names. If you don't know Star Wars. They were... Asajj Ventress, she's in Clone Wars now, but this game...
Star Wars is the one with Spock,
Do you remember...
right?
No.
Just move on.
Do you remember the Gendy Tartakovsky, Star Wars shorts? Those characters appeared there.
Oh.
So they were in Battlefront. Because it came out around the same time.
I played the second one.
I played the second one as well, but I played the first one too. I love the second one. This was such a hype announcement for me, and it's something I definitely want to play. With 64-player online, that's not even something I ever, as a kid on my PS2, dreamed about.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
I'm so excited for this. I'm going to play these games. I'm going to get achievements for these games. I'm hoping for a physical release, but in the meantime, it's on my Xbox wish list. If anybody wants to get me an Xbox gift card for my birthday, that's fine. You can do that. I will be buying this game with it. So very excited.
Digital only?
Yeah, I didn't see a physical release for it yet. Oh. But it's from Aspyr, which they usually do put physical releases of their Star Wars games. So I'm willing to double dip for it out of love. We'll see what happens. Next up, kind of mirroring what we were talking about with Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If someone said, if I was making the script for the show, right, and I lost the script, and my internet went out, and you guys were like, "Hey, we're here. Are you ready to do the show?" And I had to make up headlines, I would say this. This is something I would make up because I knew it would have to be true.
Oh, okay.
It's just such a slam dunk. It's hey, can you just make up generic headlines that are probably true? This would be something I would say. Warner Brothers is reportedly saying Suicide Squad fell short of expectations.
No way.
As first reported by IGN, Warner Brothers Discovery said that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has fallen short of our expectations in a new financial call. Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Weidenfels was reportedly referring to Suicide Squad numbers following the sale on February 2nd for $70. Warner Brothers Discovery released their fourth quarter and full year 2023 earning results. Suicide Squad launched January 2024 to mixed reviews. These ratings are currently sit at an abysmal 3.7 on Metacritic. The game just it underperformed. So Warner Brothers Discovery looking at this game, they're like, we're not happy with this.
Have you watched gameplay of it?
I haven't watched gameplay. Yeah,
it looks.
It looks mediocre.
That's it. What you saw, that's the whole game.
Yeah, it's the whole game. Yeah, that's it.
Because the actual stuff I see looks cool. I'm not gonna lie.
So literally it's there's 3 types of missions and they actually use the Flash boss fight 3 times.
Oh, that's
I like how Deborah was like, this game looks really good, and then the rest of the gamers are just like,
I don't say
does it though? Does it?
Watching the gameplay of it, I think the stuff that I see in gameplay, small clips, like even the clip I'm playing now, like it looks kind of cool. Like you have a giant Green Lantern there.
Gamers didn't agree with you.
I already saw Flash. I don't know how the whole game is. So
gamers didn't agree with you.
Well, I didn't play the whole game, so of course they didn't agree with me. I didn't play the game. This is coming from someone who has not played the game.
You also can't do whatever you want in order.
Yeah, like it doesn't sound like a good game.
Yeah,
you
you can't play it correctly. So
it's a bad game that you play bad.
It didn't do well. Number 12 on the headlines.
It's the Legend Arceus of Xbox.
Don't say that about Arceus. That's not fair. Number 12 on the headlines. Phil Spencer, breaking news over Xbox messages.
Oh.
So this is hilarious because Phil Spencer, we could talk about Phil all day. At the end of the day, I do believe this guy is just a gamer. He's out there playing Diablo all day. That's what he does. You can have him on Xbox, and he's just playing games. A fan messaged Phil Spencer on Xbox asking, this is 100% factual, a fan messaged Phil on Xbox asking when we would be able to play our owned Xbox games on xCloud. He said, "Hey Phil, any word or update on being able to play my owned games on xCloud?" Phil responded, "Should be this year. Thanks, man. Have a great night." So Phil Spencer just out here breaking news on Xbox messaging.
He's just like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, it should be this year. I'm going back to Diablo. Leave me alone.
Season 3 slaps.
But no, I mean this is great for your cloud gaming future apocalypse. You'll be able to play all your owned Xbox games.
All your non-physical games.
All your owned Xbox games you'll be able to play on xCloud.
The illusion is that you think you own them now.
Anyways, number 13.
I at least own some plastic and some paper.
Yeah, exactly. I know I own that.
True.
That's enough for me.
That's true.
Number 13 on the headlines, to close out the headlines. Like I said, more layoffs.
Oh my god.
I told you it was coming. Supermassive, the creators of The Quarry and Until Dawn, laid off 30% of their staff. According to a new report from Bloomberg, the studio behind the games told 150 employees, roughly 50% of its employee base, that they were at risk of being let go. The notice came Monday morning as members of the company were beginning their work week. And then
it's just a game of risk.
So they let 50% of their employees know, hey, you might get let go, and then they let go 30%. So that there's a 20%.
That 20% is just like, whoo!
Yeah. Until tomorrow, until next week.
Yeah, right. Next week. The other 20, it just says 20% left off.
So really unfortunate there. And then lastly, this actually happened right before we went live, like an hour beforehand. Deck 9, which is the developer behind Life is Strange Before the Storm and True Colors, said that they were laying off 20% of their studio.
Well, there's the other 20.
There you go.
So
that math is really.
I know the numbers are way different, but that 10% of Sony is just like it's just a percentage of people that are getting cut from the gaming industry.
Yeah. Like again,
but also look at the scope of the sizes of the
it's
studios.
900. It's 900 people as opposed to like this, which is like 100 and then like 100,
Maybe,
200. You know what I mean? Like
still sucks.
No, in general, it's just not good. It's not good. And that's it for the headlines. Let's run through the game releases of the week before we get out of here. For the week of February 26th, first up, tomorrow on the 28th, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons remake comes out on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Cook, Serve, Delicious comes out on Xbox Series and Xbox One on February 28th. Star Wars, Dark Forces Remaster comes out on PS5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Oh yeah, pull up that sick gameplay. Comes out on February 28th. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out on PS5 on February 29th. And Euphoria, the Saga 2, comes out on PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC on March 1st. So it's time for the pick of the week. I'm really upset that Final Fantasy Rebirth comes out this week because I want to pick Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster as my pick, but I have to go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah,
that's the pick of the week.
That one just blows everything else.
I'll go for Star Wars for you then.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, you're playing some right now. Yeah. Is this the That's not the remake though,
no,
right?
This is not the remake. This is the
original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, it's kind of a first-person shooter Doom. The really cool, the funny thing
Star Wars Doom.
Yeah, but it's getting remade. It's gonna be like 60 frames, beautiful 4K. I'm probably gonna pick it up. It is also on my wish list right now on my Xbox. A lot of Star Wars remakes. Which I'm all about, by the way. Star Wars games of the past, incredible. Port all of them. Every single one. And print discs, too. Get to it. Chop, chop. Anyways, yeah, so I'm excited for both of these games. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the one that I'm going to be picking up. I actually started playing Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. So I'm currently playing that. The writing is cringe.
Is it?
I've never played it. So I'm playing
PSP writing doesn't do it for you?
It's super cringe. One guy reminds me of Zach reminds me of you because he just does squats all day. He's just standing there. He just starts doing the squats, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And even one of the characters is like, "Why do you do so many squats?" And I'm like, "Is that you, Forrest?" I'm like, "Forrest?"
Got the spooky mohawk.
But no, I mean the writing is kind of cringe, and I wouldn't say I'm a little disappointed by it, but I never played it. But it was a PSP game, so I don't know exactly what I was expecting. But I mean, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big one. This is a big game coming this week. So.
Yes. That was the funny thing because I played Final Fantasy 16 this month, and now I'm doing Crisis Core. I don't think I'm going to start 7 Rebirth right away because I'm just kind of Final Fantasied out.
Yeah, you need a break.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know if I'm playing this game right away.
It's understandable.
It's a big game too, so I might need a game or I might need some time.
You need a palate cleanse.
Yeah, maybe a Zelda game. It's been a while. Minish Cap's up next. That's not a very long game, so
okay.
That's my next Zelda game. So I'll probably play Minish Cap, but see. All right. You guys have anything else you want to add or anything else? Games, video games, Pokemon, PlayStation, layoffs.
I'm hiring everyone. No.
What are you playing?
Right now, I was playing Tekken 8.
And you just got a game.
And then I want to play Helldivers. I just got Helldivers 2.
Yeah. I want to play it. I want to play it too. I think the three of us playing Helldivers would be a lot of fun.
I'm specifically waiting for it to come to Xbox.
Whatever, that's a meme.
So yeah, I told him about it. So it's did you see the video where they're it's a real war and they're send in the reserves.
It's Xbox.
He's my best friend died in my hands this morning. Send in the reserves. They stopped the Covenant. They stopped the Flood. They pushed back the Locust Swarm. Why won't you send in the reserves? We need the help. We're being overrun.
Yeah.
And I'm just it gives me chills. And I'm like, just put it out on Xbox.
I mean,
I'll buy it.
Well, that's what everyone
instantly.
keeps saying. That's probably going to be their big announcement in June, but Helldivers hype is going to probably die down.
I don't know. But so, yeah, I mean, again, I think we're looking at the future, and it's just it makes sense for PlayStation to start going multi-platform along with Xbox. It's I just see... Again, it was really funny that Xbox came out, and then PlayStation right after was it's almost it's like they were playing chicken. Because, PlayStation's standing there
I have to imagine...
And they're just sitting there not blinking, and Xbox is all right, whatever, yeah. And we're going multi-platform. PlayStation's we're laying off 1,000 people, and we're also losing a lot of sales. We're in a lot of trouble.
Did y'all see that?
Please
Pokemon
help
Nintendo?
us.
Wait, I imagine that the developers of Helldivers 2 were wait, let's not put it on Xbox yet because they were having troubles with
the
the
they're
server.
having servers issues.
The guy's just don't buy the game if you don't have the money. He's trying to give
just
reasons
wait.
not to
just
buy
wait.
the game.
Hey, just wait. It's trust me.
If you're thinking about buying the game, please wait because there's way too many of y'all.
Yeah, I will definitely buy it on Xbox.
I got it
if it comes out on
Xbox. The server issues, so
yeah.
I've yet to...
I think you're
good now.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, they upped it to 750,000 players. So.
But yeah, it's neat. It's neat that this game kind of came out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's a PlayStation Live Service game, and it succeeded.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Very
it's
rarely.
a good game.
Live service games usually don't work.
You need a good game. People don't make good games around it.
Well, what if you're not? What if you're not playing it correctly? It's I'm not spending money.
I'm walking backwards through Helldivers too. Okay.
I'm playing it wrong, so because I'm not spending money on it.
That's gonna be Pokemon.
There it is. All right. Well, so yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment. Thank you everyone hanging out with us tonight. Thank you to Nat and Ty as well. Make sure you join our Discord, which is in the description below, where we talk about video games and all that cool stuff. Yeah. So I gotta go to bed. I have to be able to work.
I'm tired.
I have work at 5:30
now. I gotta go
so.
drive home.
Yeah. So see everyone later. We're tired.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.